because my mother's birthday was April 10th, 1946, which means she would have been 79 years old tomorrow. And all of you have heard all of the wisdom that my mother tried to give me. I wish I was smarter earlier to pick it up earlier, but at least now I got it. So it is what it is. I'm just looking outside, making sure everybody's good. We got a nice Class B out there. They go away, come back. I'm sure they're just cruising around. Again, when I was buying my rig, I was talked into a C, and I wanted a B. And the more I look at it, the more I think I probably could have done a B. I'm not sure if I can get there, but boy, I hope maybe someday I can. One of my favorite people, Rusty, he went from so many different campers, and he was really good in his casita when I met him. And then he went all the way out to a C, and then a tiny house, and then a B, and then back to a C, and then sold a tiny house, and now he's back to a truck and a casita. Sometimes you can just know it fits. Oh, wait a second. Hang on. Hold on. I had to look down at the dog. Mr. Bodie is, he's not at 100%. Somewhere a day or so ago, he started getting a bellyache. I tried to feed him something, and he threw up. And then normal food. And then he threw up. And then last night he almost threw up. And then so I'm doing a food restriction with him. So, a little broth. He won't eat rice, which is what I should be giving him. And then after that, it is, I took him outside earlier, and of course he tried to whop up again. A lot of green stuff. That's really just what's left in the belly. So I think what we have to do is empty his belly and then start all over. I've restricted his good food, the expensive food, and we're just going to have to move on from there. So tomorrow maybe we'll try a little. I didn't like the chicken that I had, so I threw it all away. Just it's easier than trying to figure it out. Just there wasn't a whole lot. I just threw it away, and now I'll make more chicken tomorrow. And I will give him some ground beef and a little bit of his food and a little bit of wet food and give him a little smorgasbord and see what happens. All right, so let's see what else is going on. Just watching the lady sit around outside. She's sitting around. She's having a good time. And that's all good and groovy. What else I do? I went to the Walmart today, which was a pain in the butt. Okay. Now, knowing, again, that my slide is not working 100%, right? I have to bypass it to move it. So unless I really got to move, I don't move. I've been using Uber, and it's $6 to go that mile. And then $6 to come back, which $12 is not going to break the bank. And I think it's a really good investment, because just the 20 minutes to unhook, the 20 minutes to rehook, and then gas. But gas for a mile, it's fine. But that's what's going on right now. Okay. Let's see what else we got. It's sunny. And it is, it's got to be 86 degrees, 85 degrees. I don't know. It's just got to be warm. And again, the Walmart was interesting. For those of you in the know, because I hate the Walmart. I noted today that the shelves were full, but the aisles of people were empty. It was about 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning. And they were just, there was not a lot of traffic going on. That was kind of surprising. I would expect a around this time of day, around this time of month, they would just be busy as a son of a gun. There would be a lot of stuff going on. No, didn't happen. But the shelves were full. I didn't see empty eggs or empty milk or, people crying and suffering. It was just kind of weird. Now, years ago and far away, I had a friend of mine who had was it a daughter-in-law? Something like that. It was in Poland, right? And she was talking about how it exists in communist countries. And it was, the shelves were full when they opened the store, but the only thing you could buy was vinegar and soap. And that's pretty much a good explanation of what might be happening. I'm not a political animal. I'm a political agnostic. I'm a man without a country. So I don't have that argument, right? I just know that for the last 4 months or 5 months, every time I have to head toward that Walmart, there's at least 2 or 3 big 40-foot shipping containers sitting out in the back. What's in them? I don't know. So I don't think they're suffering. Hi, Linda. So it's kind of weird. Good news. It's the Florida City Homestead Walmart. There was no gunplay today. That's a good thing. The lady behind me, older lady, and, she and I were sitting and talking, and somebody said something, not in English, and she looked at this guy. She must have been 70. She went, "I don't understand you. I live in America. I speak English." I walked over and shook her hand. I was like, "Thank you. Thank you very, very much. You and I can be friends. We're good." Another interesting thing. The Walmart in Florida, the Walmart Supercenter in Florida City Homestead has 32 registers. At any given point in time that I've been there in 3 years, half them or more are not operable. And the guy I got in line with was screaming, "Card only, no cash." Why wouldn't you accept cash? I mean, after all, hang on. Come here. Hang on. Okay. This is a $20 bill. Federal Reserve note, $20. This is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Is it right there? No cash? This is good for all debts, public and private. This is good for all debts, public and private. Not the first time in my life I've walked out of a store and left a cart of stuff because they wouldn't accept cash, or they wanted me to do something stupid to buy groceries. That old-fashioned word, groceries. I love it. Just don't get it. I just don't get it. I walked into another section of the store, and they said, "Well, we only have 4 20s in the till, and they only have," I think they said 25 singles and 2 5. Their till was basically under $200. So whoever designed that was trying to figure stuff out. All right. Linda, hang on. I can't see your comment. I guess they're afraid of getting robbed. Well, 10:30 in the morning in the murder capital of Florida, And everybody hates everybody else. They're all completely divided, and nobody speaks the same language. What's the worst thing that could happen? Gunplay? I guess. Oh, it's so tiring. I did take some Happy Nose. I did take some stuff for my class today. This class is a little tougher than I thought it was going to be. Oh, there's my iced tea. The class is tougher than I thought it would be because it's a whole new language. I'm learning about things that I thought I understood as a consumer, but not as somebody who would sell the items. So I keep having to put my head into the mode of, I want to sell you a product. I want to pay you as little as possible. So anytime I start looking at the quiz questions and I'm not sure, I go, I want to sell you a product. I want to pay you as little as possible. This is a bad place to be, but it's where we are now. Who knows where that will lead? I did again get accepted by Horizon Transport. No, it's insurance. I got accepted by Horizon Transport to be an independent contractor. My problem is that I don't have a tow vehicle, and I have to see if I can work that out. In that case, I can drive right up to Indiana, and I can start moving RVs around. Average haul is about 800 miles. I have to have a tow vehicle because I have to get back. They say, you can't bring the dog with you. You can't put him in the RV. Well, he can sit in the tow vehicle. He'll be fine. But I'm not going to board him. So we've got that going for us. A couple of other things. Sadly, it's going back to environmental health and safety. And, you know, because it's probably just you and me, Linda, nobody else is watching. I'm very afraid of that. And the reason I'm afraid of that is because I'm afraid that the same thing that drove me out is going to drive me out again. Same thing I told the nice lady yesterday on the phone. I got tired of going to work at 5 a.m. and telling people to do useless things that did not serve them well, did not protect them, and fill out this 10-form questionnaire before you come to work. I got so tired of their angry eyes staring at me every day. And then I would have to go back out on the plant floor, wherever I was walking, and then they would see me coming, and I could see them tense up. I could see them get angry. And I was going, that's not the way it's supposed to be. It is supposed to be, you see me coming around the corner, it's like, hey, there he is. What's going on, big? Hey, man, everybody good? You all good? Glasses on? Yeah, all right. Anybody need anything? All right, get back to it. I got tired of the angry eyes. I got tired of people saying, what the hell is this supposed to do for me? And the answer is nothing, but they want you to do it anyway. I got so tired of that. And I'm very, very upset. What's this? Kind of kind of a loner job, delivering RVs. All right. So let's say perfect employees, perfect time and space, perfect. Why? No stupid, no silly, no this. Me and the dog, take it 800 miles, drive 800 miles back. Go over here, get another one, go do it again. The concept of having no coworkers to me is Let me say it right. Use your big words, Carl. Refreshing and enlightening. Those are the right words. Who's your coworker? Your dog. All right. Who's your this? Nobody. Who's going to talk to you? I can always make a phone call. I can talk to my tribe. They're there all the time. The idea of doing a job as an independent contractor was kind of the reason that once I got laid off from the consultancy job I had, great company. I could probably call them right now. They're in Florida, West Palm Beach. I could probably call them. I did briefly consider getting my CDL. And I thought about getting it because as much as I love Kerry, and I love Kerry, I don't love Kerry and I love Kerry. It's very complicated. Please excuse me. I thought that an over-the-road trucking, and I'm going to squirrel here for a second, okay? My second ex-wife has a sister, and her husband was an OTR trucker. And so he was gone a week or two at a time. He'd come home, 3 or 4 days, everything's fine, and then he'd go back out again. He'd be gone for half a week, 2 weeks, whatever happened. They had a good relationship, and I think the reason they had a really good relationship, much as I'm not a fan of my ex-wife's sister, even as a child when I met her, I was not a fan, was that he wasn't in her hair. So she could be a raving bitch all day long, and he was in the middle of Texas driving down I-75. You know what? And I'm like, that sounds good. And then I said, Kerry's pretty self-sufficient. Remember, she's strong, she's brave, she's capable, she's wonderful. She doesn't need me around. She needs this. She needs to hear this every 2 weeks. Right into the bank account. So I'm home for 4 days. All right, honey, maybe I'll tend the garden. Maybe, we'll figure out how to handle the lawn. And then I'll be gone for 2 weeks. Would she miss me? I would hope. And the other end is, but would she miss me? Not every other Friday, because that would smack down. So it is what it is. Well, like I said, the EHS jobs, they're all over. There's one in Deerfield, Florida, which is about an hour from here. And they say they want travel. And I went, okay. If you want me to travel and it's domestic travel, my house and my office are the same box. I'll just drive over there. Because I'll be damned if anybody puts me on an airplane ever again. Ever. Can't do it. Okay. I can't imagine. There's this picture that's been going around. It's this picture of a pilot cockpit, right? And it's these two girls in captain's uniform staring back at you going, would you get on this plane? Hell no. No way. Can't do it. What did my tribe members say? Hang on. Give me a minute. I'm old. He said, DEI Airlines will take you all the way to the crash site. I don't want to be part of that, man. No, thank you. One When I had to travel, it was take off your belt, take off your shoes, do this, blah, blah, blah. And nobody listens. I mean, the last time I went to Iowa for the big company I was working for, I told the lady, because I had a carry-on, I said, look, I said, there is a safety razor in that bag, and I just changed the blade. I'm telling you that it is sharp. And she ran her finger across it, cut herself like that, and I was like, was I speaking? Was I talking? Lowest, this is why I'm a hermit. I cannot continue to live in a world that everything is run by the lowest common denominator. I can't. Mama raised me. Tomorrow we're going to do something for my mom. Mama raised me. The excellent rise to the top. The best rise to the top. The hardworking rise to the top. It's upside down. The least of us get the jobs. They fail upwards. The worst people in the world get the best positions, and they don't produce anything, and nobody gets punished. I don't get it. Man, I just don't get it. And yeah, you don't want to fly either. Man, I'm going to tell you, the only time I would fly, Linda, at this point is, 1, if I was flying the plane. 2, it was a private jet, and I vetted everybody on that plane before I stepped foot on it. No way. Let's see. So, since you and I are probably the only two here, I'm going to turn it over to you. What would you like to talk about? I could ramble on all day. Reminding myself, put more black tea in there instead of white tea and green tea. But yeah, that is the way that it is. Lot of stuff going on in the world. Every time I put my periscope up, I ask myself the exact same thing, which is, why are you putting your periscope up? Until you come up with a topic, my answer is, it is very hard for me to be here when my primal instinct is to run. And to run as fast as possible. This place is very nice. Everything's good. I did ask them if I could work with them. I had 5 meetings. 2, they said to come find me. Nobody did. 3 of which I made their meeting. Nobody was there. And I'm like, well, then you don't want me to work with them. However, I do see who works with them. There's another person who lives here, and she's got tattoos, screwed up teeth, scribbles on her Jeep, and every Friday from 7:30 to 10:30, I hear her strangling a cat at the karaoke machine about 900 feet down. One more time. We are promoting the worst of us, not excellence. And that's why I want to run. I might want to go see my property. First thing I do is finish the insurance class. Let's see where we go with that, because I have to travel somewhere to take a test. They're going to find where I'm going to. If it's Fort Lauderdale, it's still like 2 hours away. We'll have to figure that out. I did talk to Jack about Shift Smart. Those guys are not ready for prime time. Made an account, did this and that, saw some stuff real close, like walkable close. And then suddenly it all disappeared. And I went, that's stupid. So tried to call their customer service and was on hold and goes nowhere, does nothing. Let's see. Well, what else, Bodie? What else did we do? The insurance class. I haven't heard back from Big Cypress. I haven't heard back from anybody from the Park Service. Why? I don't know. Or Johnson Dixon State Park. Either they're not responsive, or the people's names I gave them said something nasty. and therefore they just don't want me to be there. Oh, okay, hang on. I got to look at that. Sorry. So I want to go, but I want to drive myself. I need to buy a van. I can't decide. Isn't that funny? There is somebody here that I think is selling a van. When I spoke to one of the staff members here, he was working on that van, and he said, I think they're getting ready to sell it. So I've got to wander over and just, rap on the door and go, hey, what's up with this? Are you selling it? Give me the mileage. Can it be towed flat? Then if it can be towed flat, I can put tow chains on it, and then we have something we can work on while I get my insurance stuff done. The insurance stuff would be pretty much me being in Florida and Georgia, which is fine. I don't care. I tried to explain to the guy, I was like, I got to go to a site. Fine. He's like, well, you'll just drive there and go home. I was like, no, I'll drive my home. I'll be there. Let's see. That's it. Other than that, it's just, all the simple stuff. Apply for unemployment, do this and that, go to that process, talk to the people, fill out the, fill out multiple job interview stuff. I get calls from people all the time, and I'm like, ugh. It's not going, that stuff doesn't go anywhere. I don't understand why. And I think it doesn't go anywhere because I don't think they want it to go anywhere. I think what they're doing is they're saying, well, we interviewed 27 candidates, but I don't think they really wanted to hire anybody, which is okay. Again, going back into the EHS space is kind of scary. I can't imagine 7 o'clock in the morning telling somebody to do something absolutely useless and having them look at me and be absolutely frustrated and ticked off again. And the company is saying, out of an abundance of caution and safety, no, you're hurting your employees. You're making it harder for them to do work. Why do you have a 48% attrition rate? Why do you have a 55% attrition rate? Why? Because you're not treating them well. You're asking them to do dumb stuff. So that's tough. But, all right. Look, it's short. It's sweet. Jack and I talked today, and he was like, take any shift you want. So if he's not there, then I'm here. And unless anybody in the crowd has something they want to throw in, we should probably just simply call it a day. Anything else? Some of the details. You'll be needing to go to Indiana for Horizon. I'm kind of on the way. HorizonTransport.com. And the link is on the top right-ish, and it says become, it says careers. And they don't have full-time employees beyond their office staff and anything else. So you just click careers, and you decide what you're going to do. Do you want drive away, pull away, trailer, whatever it is you want? You make that decision. There's an application form you fill out. They got back to me in less than a day and said, congratulations. When I get there, they're going to have to do things like, fingerprint you, and fine. Fine, it's fine. But it runs like trucking. Okay, and I worked for companies that had Hostler trucking or simplified trucking. Is that they called it simplified? I think so. So you go and you look at the board, and then they tell you what's available, and then you take one, and then you do it, and then you come back, and then you go back and look at the board again. So just horizontransport.com, click on their careers page, and see what's up. I really like the idea of just doing my own thing. Bad news, okay, you have to pay for the gas. So they give you the RV empty. Okay, if it's a trailer, there's no gas. But you have to keep the gas at the minimum level in order to operate. And when you deliver it, you want it empty. And then you get in your tow vehicle and you drive home. So I did ask what their frequency was. And they said 1 or 2 a week. Well, that's a lot of driving, but okay. I don't have Easy Pass anymore. I do have Sun Pass. So I would have to figure that part out too. But again, they charge very little per mile. Very little, just like any other trucking company. So you have to have a little bit of a nest egg up before you do it. So they suggest 1,000. I double that. And, make sure that you've got that, because if they're only paying 30 cents a mile, and I don't have my calculator out, but 30.3 times 800 is 3 goes into 80, 3 goes into 82, and then $200. I'm really scratching rough math here. So every haul would be about $250. And you have to pay for the gas, and you have to pay for your own gas to get back. I don't know about insurance and benefits. I have to double check. But that's it. I don't see anything else to crow about, and there's nothing else I can argue about. I'm a little irritated. I'm very irritated in the world right now because I want to run. And other than the cardinal that keeps coming to visit me, I really want to run. And I think the reason that I want to run is the simplest and easiest reason of all. People are being very unreasonable. I put my periscope up. I wanted to get my head above water a little bit and take a look. And I saw old people, not really young people, protesting and screaming and chanting and dance moves and and I was like, what in the hell? What is going on? It's really tough. It's quite a commitment. What am I going to... I like that, Linda. What else am I going to commit to? Has anybody heard from Carrie yet? Has anybody been able to make contact with her? No. I spoke to 2 of my tribe members today. Or at least we made contact. Okay. It's very hard for me because I don't see a reason to connect with people anymore. I see all of the positive reasons to not only disconnect, but think that I'm too far connected with people as I stand. And so the Horizon transport job looks phenomenal. It's me, the dog, a podcast. We'll do 400 miles in a day. Who's your coworker? My dog. Where's the nonsense? Other than traffic, there is none. Who do you have to deal with? Nobody until I either get to one destination or the other. That really sounds pretty peaceful. So it doesn't pay a lot, but boy, it's in consideration. Plus, I have to take this girl and I have to put her in storage. I would have to put her in storage somewhere, and because I can't tow a tow, for lack of better terms. But yeah, the world's kind of frustrating me. Every time I look around twice, I'm flabbergasted. I'm absolutely shot out. Where would you keep the Carrie Ellen? I would have to find somebody near Indiana. Public storage. It's a great answer. They will let you rent the smallest space possible and store your stuff on site. People store boats. People store RVs. They will work that out with you. All right. Well, it's 6:30, and I said I was going to keep it to 30 minutes. So, Linda, it's only you and me. So what I'm going to do is I am going to say, if anybody else is listening, have a great night. If not, hey, Jack, I did my best for you. If nobody's tuning in, nobody's tuning in. Tomorrow, I will be doing a video in honor of my sainted mother. I will be probably quoting some of her most famous lines, like, God, what did Mom say? People are only out for themselves. If you understand that, you understand their nature. Once you understand their nature, you can get around them. Thanks, Mom. All right, so let's wrap it up. If you don't take care of yourself, nobody will. Thanks, Mom. If they are not like-minded, if they do not share your values, and they do not have anything to offer, and no, out you go. It's too late for that. Our door's shut. We're sailing. So from Bodie, who is sitting right here, and from Carl, hey, Jack, I hope I did you a good solid today. And we are out. Bye.